everyone, and welcome to Devils United for my pre-recorded video for the Premier League prediction show, Matchday 14. So I will be doing a Premier League prediction show for the next couple of weeks. It will be pre-recorded just because I won't be able to physically do this live. So this one will be going through the review of Matchday 12 because we did briefly go it through Matchday 11 with Reese and Matchday 13. The preview for Matchday 13, what me and Reese has predicted, and I will be giving both mine and John's predictions for Matchday 14. So plenty to come for the channel. So we'll start first with Matchday 12 preview. So Brighton versus Forest. I went for a 3-0 for Brighton. John went for a 2-0 for Brighton. None of us, of course, did not get the score right. None of us got any points for the Matchday 12, as it was 0-0. So the next game was Crystal Palace versus Wolves. Both me and John predicted 1-1 draws. None of us got that right, as Crystal Palace won 2-1. The next game was postponed for Arsenal versus Manchester City. The reason why that was postponed, of course, was due to the Europa League fixture. Bournemouth versus Southampton. I predicted 2-1 for Bournemouth. John predicted 1-0 for Bournemouth. And that was incorrect for us both. None of us got any points, as Southampton won 1-0. Liverpool versus West Ham. I predicted 3-1 win for Liverpool. John predicted 2-1 win for Liverpool. And the game ended up winning 1-0 for Liverpool. So that means me and John won 1 point each. Brentford versus Chelsea. I predicted 2-1 for Chelsea. John predicted 2-0 for Chelsea. None of us got any points, as the game ended in a boring 0-0. Next game is Newcastle United versus Everton. I predicted 3-0 for Newcastle. John predicted 2-0 for Newcastle. We both got a point, as Newcastle won 1-0. Manchester United versus Tottenham. I predicted 1-0 for Manchester United. John predicted 3-3. I predicted the Manchester United to get a win, so I got a 1 point. Fulham versus Aston Villa. So Fulham won 3-0. I predicted 3-2 for Fulham. John predicted 2-1 for Fulham. Very close, of course. And we both got 1 point each, as we both predicted Fulham wins. And Leicester versus Leeds. I predicted 4-2 for Leeds. John picked 3-1 for Leeds. And none of us got that right, as Leicester comfortably won 2-0. We had a goal scorers. I had James Maddison, he was suspended, silly me, and John had Sinistera there for Leeds to score. So overall, I picked up 4 points in Matchday 12. John picked up 3 points. So at the end of Matchday 12, I was sitting on 82 points. John was sitting on 76 points. So we'll go then on to the review for Matchday 13. So this is what both me and Reese predicted. So I went for a 2-0 for Liverpool. Reese went for a 3-1 for Liverpool. And none of us got any points, as Forest actually surprisingly won 1-0. Next game, Everton versus Crystal Palace. I went for 2-1 for Everton. Reese went for 1-0 for Everton, and Everton won 3-0. So we both got 1 point each there. Manchester City versus Brighton. Both me and Reese went for 3-2 wins for Manchester City, and Manchester City won 3-1. So we both picked up a point from there. Chelsea versus Manchester United. Reese predicted 1-0 for Chelsea, 1-0 for Manchester United. and I predicted a 1-1 draw. And due to myself predicting the right score and predicting the draw, I picked up 4 points and Reese picked up no points. Wolves versus Leicester. Both me and Reese went for a 1-0 for Wolves, and Leicester absolutely battered Wolves, so no points there. Villa versus Brentford. I went for 3-0 for Brentford. Reese went for 2-0 for Brentford. None of us picked any points as Aston Villa won 4-0. Southampton versus Arsenal. Both of us predicted 4-1 for Arsenal. None of us got any points from there. Leeds versus Fulham. I predicted 3-1 for Fulham. Reese predicted 2-2 draw. I picked up a point there as Fulham won 3-2. So Leeds, Spurs versus Newcastle. I predicted a 2-2 draw. Reese predicted a 3-3 draw. None of us picked up any points as Newcastle won 2-1. West Ham versus Bournemouth. I predicted a 1-1 draw. Reese predicted a 2-1 win. And Reese got then 1 point as he did get he did get the score. He did get the win. So that meant that Reese picked up 3 points from Matchday 13. I picked up 7 points. So as it stands, I am on 88 points and John/Reese is on 79 points. None of us got our guaranteed goal scorer. Reese Guenduez from Wolves. I picked Ivan Toner. So it was quite of a funny match day, but 2 match days it went through, and now it's time to predict our match day 14. So we'll start with the first game, which is at a 12:30 kickoff on Saturday, which is Leicester versus Manchester City. Leicester are on such poor form right now. As it stands, they are at the bottom half of the table. Manchester City, they're not doing so bad right now in terms of the table. They're currently sitting in second place. Pep Guardiola probably is wanting that little bit more, of course. They've got 8 wins, 2 draws, 1 loss. And Leicester have got 3 wins, 2 draws, 7 losses with a -3 goal difference. For me, I think that it's not going to be like the Leicester game what we've seen a few years ago against Manchester City where Leicester won 5-2. I think it's going to be an absolute hammering, especially knowing that there's Erling Haaland. He's already scored 15 plus goals in the league. James Maddison's back, which is an advantage, but I just don't think Leicester have enough there to get any points. I've gone for a 5-0 win for Manchester City. John's gone for a 4-0 win for Manchester City. Next game, Newcastle United versus Aston Villa. Newcastle are on great form right now. They're currently sitting in the top half of the table in the top 6. Aston Villa recently sacking Steven Gerrard. They've appointed Unai Emery from Villarreal. He isn't going to be in charge of this game. It still will be the caretaker manager, and Unai Emery will be taken in charge on the 1st of November. Newcastle, Almiron is in great form. Callum Wilson, Bruno Guimaraes is absolutely outstanding, and Sven Botman, Kieran Trippier. In the Aston Villa game against Brentford, Douglas Luiz was on fire alongside Danny Ings. And I'm looking at this game, and I do think, for me, in my opinion, that Aston Villa is going to take that as a high and wanting to get something out of St James's Park. Newcastle are going to want to get 3 points, because if they are wanting to stay in the top half of the table, that's exactly what they need to do. They need to pick up points against the likes of Aston Villa. But based off last week. I think it's going to be a tight game. I've gone for a 2-1 win for Newcastle, and John has gone for a 3-0 win for Newcastle. Next game now, Bournemouth versus Tottenham Hotspur. As it stands right now, Tottenham Hotspur are currently sitting in third place, 7 wins, 2 draws, 3 losses. And Bournemouth, very surprisingly, they're actually are in 14th place. 3 wins, 4 losses, 5 draws. 3 wins, 4 draws, 5 losses. One of the losses, of course, being that 9-0 defeat against Liverpool. But apart from that, there isn't any what really strike out as a real bad performance. This is Steve, ever since they've sacked the manager, I think that they've been very good, Bournemouth. They've looked like they've been a real unit of a team. And the thing what I've liked about, minus Nottingham Forest, of course, which we will touch on a little bit soon, both Fulham and Bournemouth do look like they are a Premier League club. And 2 Premier League clubs at the moment, as it stands, could be getting relegated, who's been here for numerous of years, and the time's just potentially up. In terms of Tottenham, even though they're currently a third, they're not overly convincing. They was poor against Manchester United. They was poor against Newcastle. I think Antonio Conte is quite underestimating these teams right now. He has a plan A. He doesn't. If something isn't going his way, he doesn't have that backup there to try and get 3 points. So it was quite evident left from the game he's not getting the best out of his squad depth. I think based off the strengths of both teams, I am expecting a win here for Tottenham Hotspur, but I've gone for a very narrow win of 2-1 for Spurs. John has gone for a 1-1 draw into the game. Next game now, which could be a potential one of the best 3 o'clock kickoffs of the weekend, is Brighton versus Chelsea. Graham Potter is going to be travelling to the Amex to face his former club. Graham Potter has actually been doing quite well under Chelsea at the moment. Not lost a game yet in the league. He's trying out different things in the back 4, the back 3. Chalobah's getting a lot more games. Mason Mount's on fire. Aubameyang isn't doing too bad. He's dropped Koulibaly. That's always a positive, of course. The new Brighton manager hasn't yet won a game, but I think he has had a hard run. Brighton's lost the same amount of games as they've won. They've still got a positive goal difference, which is a good thing, and they're still in the top half of the table. I think coming into this game, based off what's gone on with Graham Potter, he's left Brighton. I wouldn't be surprised if he could potentially get out tacticked. Because I actually do think, based off how each team play, Brighton can't be underestimated. They're a fantastic side. Sometimes with Chelsea, when they're flat, It's just as simple as that. I've gone for a 1-1 draw in this game. John's gone for a 2-1 win for Chelsea. Next game now, Crystal Palace versus Southampton. Neither team is doing good at the moment. Is Patrick Vieira being potentially sniffed out? I'm not too sure. Currently in 13th place. They've had some good moments. They've had some bad moments. Southampton have been pretty poor as well. They've been great at home at St Mary's, but apart from that, they've been very poor, and potentially Ralph Hasenhüttl could be on borrowed time here right now. I think it's going to be a narrow game. I've gone for a 1-0 win for Palace. John's gone for a 2-2 draw. Next game is Brentford versus Wolves. Wolves at the moment are in very, very, very poor form right now. Currently sitting in 90th place. They've sacked Bruno Lage. They brought in £50 million Nunes and not getting the best out of this guy. Everyone knows who watches me, who watches the channel, who watches me on other channels. I rate Nunes. He's sporting lad. I love the guy. I absolutely love the guy. And you all know when people are playing in Liga Portugal, their dream is to play in the Premier League, just like Cristiano Ronaldo did. But you're not getting the best out of this player. Wolves are so ambitionless, they haven't yet found the manager. And if I was a Wolves fan, I would be so furious as they'd say, what's going on with my club? Like, this is what's happening here. We're fighting relegation. You're not finding a manager. What are we supposed to do? We don't know what's going to be happening here. And I think this is exactly what is in Wolves' situation. Brentford, they're at home. They're quite strong at home. And at the moment, Brentford are sitting in 11th. They've got Ivan Toney on fire. Josh De Silva's looking great. They have had some times where I think, wow, like you shouldn't have lost there, but they've had some great moments as well. I think Brentford's going to win this game. I've gone for a 3-0 win for Brentford. John's gone the same 3-0 to Brentford. I can't see Wolves getting anything out of this game whatsoever. Next game now, which is the 5:30 kickoff. People might think it's a snooze fest, but seriously, this game, Fulham versus Everton, is not a snooze fest. I can guarantee you that. Fulham are looking under Marco Silva. Absolutely fantastic. Palhinha, I love the guy so much, and I just want to say congratulations to Palhinha on your new baby. Andreas Pereira, pre-season Pirlo is actually looking good. Dan James, supersonic as you always do. Diop, former West Ham player, looking great. Liao from Arsenal. What I've liked, Marco Silva has been underestimated because of his times at other clubs, and I think he's gonna want revenge at Everton. But in terms of he's got Premier League, he's got players who's played in the Premier League, got Premier League experience to help him stay up. And I think that bit, apart from Palhinha, of course, but he's got such great records outside in Europe, like one of the third highest tackles in the Champions League. That just beats levels, and getting him for a bargain of 10 million. And you're bringing ex Premier League players like Willian in, and you've got Pereira, you've got Dan James on loan, you've got Diop, you're getting all these players in who've got plenty of Premier League experience. It's worked out brilliantly. Everton are actually not looking so bad right now. Tyolski, Connor Cody, brilliant partnership. I just worry about Everton up front. I don't think Anthony Gordon is enough for me, in my opinion. They need a striker coming in. Frank Lampard's done great. He was in contender for getting the sack. I don't think he's nowhere near that, though. In terms of this score, I've gone for a 2-1 win for Fulham. John's gone for a 1-1 draw. Next game is Liverpool versus Leeds. If I had a sign here right now, this would be my sign, people. I will show you this. This would be my sign. I would literally hold this sign, both teams to lose. Because you all know, like, as a Manchester United fan, both Liverpool and Leeds are my rivals. You don't want any of them to win, but it's at Anfield. Leeds are doing awful. Jesse Marsch is crap. Like, Liverpool are not doing so well at the moment, but I can imagine Van Dijk will be playing. He's not lost a league game at Anfield in his whole career. Liverpool to win 3-1. Can't see any other way. John's gone for the same. Next game is Arsenal versus Nottingham Forest. You got to give credits to Arsenal. They've done great. They've strengthened the transfer window. Gabriel Jesus, Zinchenko, Odegaard coming in permanently. Him as a captain. You've got Fabio Vieira. You brought in some good players there. They did look a little bit tired against Southampton, in my opinion, but they're going to have a lot more open space against Nottingham Forest. He can afford to rotate if he really wants to, but he does have a Europa League game, Arteta, so I can imagine he'll probably rotate for that. And Right now, they're sitting in first place. Only lost one game and drew one game, and they've won 9. So that really speaks levels of how Arteta's Arsenals are playing. Nottingham Forest, they're currently sitting in relegation zone. It was a great win for them against Liverpool. No one was ever expecting it, but they're still in 20th. Minus 15 goal difference, which is one of the worst in the bottom half alongside Bournemouth. They've only won 2 games, and they're actually 2 games you would have expected Nottingham Forest to win. They've signed 23 players, but they've lost a hell of a lot of players, and I think right now Steve Cooper, he doesn't know what his best 11 is. I've gone for a comfortable win here for Arsenal. I've gone for a 3-0 win for Arsenal. And John's gone for the same. The last game of the match day is Manchester United versus West Ham United. I think Manchester United were very unlucky not to come out with a win against Chelsea. The reason why was, of course, a penalty, but we didn't really do too much up front. Casemiro is an absolute baller at the moment. Christian Eriksen, amazing. Martinez, don't ever doubt a player based off his height, people, because Martinez is the definition of that. Varane is out injured. I hope it's nothing too serious and he's not out for too long. But I wouldn't mind him being out for the World Cup just because club's more important right now. Anthony's looking great, but we need to do a lot better. We need to play how we played against Spurs because we were sensational. Probably our best performance of the season. West Ham, they've been a bit of a hit and miss. They're currently sitting in mid-table right now. On a -1 goal difference. As James touched on the West Ham preview, they haven't really done too much going forward. They haven't really got too much of good defence right now, so I think Manchester United are going to win this, especially at Old Trafford. I've gone for a 2-1 win, so is John. Guaranteed goal scorer. I've gone for Phil Foden and John's gone for Erling Haaland. So, thank you everybody who has watched a pre-recorded video. If you are watching this, put your comments in of who you think is going to win, the score prediction, your guaranteed goal scorer. I want to hear it, people. Let me know what it is. Thank you all for great support. Hit that like button and subscribe if you're new. I will bring out another video as well with Matchday 15. I am raising the awareness for breast cancer now, so if you can, go and donate to breast cancer now, and the link in the description. Every little bit helps. Thank you all so much, and take care. Have a lovely day. Bye bye.